This podcast contains paid advertisements, but more on that later. Welcome to the O'Connor Bootstrap Podcast, where I discuss how you can grow your business by the bootstraps. This applies to all entrepreneurs, from the person just starting up to the one that is already well established. My goal is to help you grow. I am your host, Isaiah O'Connor. Okay, so today's episode is titled, What is the Measure of Your Success? This title comes directly from a song of the same name by a Christian artist called Steve Haler. Now, he's been around, he was big in the 80s, he's been around for quite some time, but that's another story. But again, this tree planting job has been a source of a lot of inspiration, and I was re-listening to an album I haven't listened to in multiple years, and a lot of the songs were recorded 30 odd some years ago. But the song asks a very deep and important question, which is, what is the measure of your success? How do you define when and how you're successful? Now, to every individual, this is a different thing. How you define success is completely subjective. Now, there might be some objective things that other people can look at and say that looks successful, but just from an objective person's point of view, that doesn't mean you feel that that means you're successful. Now, what do I mean by that? Again, a couple of the balloon guys I know I've talked about a couple of times in the podcast, David Mahoney and Chris Ademo. They both have what I consider to be very successful balloon businesses. They have a large staff, whereas most balloon artists that I've seen have 1 or 2 people on staff, maybe 3, and it's usually them and their mom and their wife, or them and their wife and their son, or some combination of family members. It's not usually a large crew of staff members. A little bit more with those that run a retail shop because they have a lot more retail employees to obviously man the store. But your general balloon artist does not have a large staff, and both these guys have a staff greater than, I think, 10 or 15 people, plus, minus. I'm not sure. I don't look at their payroll. They do a lot of business. They do a lot of sales. They produce a lot of videos. They give help. They give tips. And from where I sit, they look very successful. Having multiple employees, being able to walk away from the store, walk away from the shop, and the shop runs without them, that's pretty successful. Now they go in and they make sure they do the books, they manage, they've got to a point where they're no longer working the business, they're managing the business. Now there's a pretty big difference there. Right now, I do all my balloons. I have one guy that I have as a backup to help me on big projects and take some balloon twisting events if I'm unable to make it, whatever. But that's it. And they're on call, and it's really hard to give them enough hours to make it worthwhile to be with me. So just having one employee that you can pay on a regular basis, for me, would be pretty successful for my own business. So the thing is, both these two guys, I'm kind of, I guess I'm successful if you want to say that, but I don't see myself that way. Neither of these guys really see themselves as super successful. They're just guys doing business and selling balloons. They don't personally feel like they're hyper successful or anything. They're just like, I'm just doing what I need to do. I'm just doing my job. They don't feel like they're this super success, and they're always pushing on to the next best thing, and they're trying to make more, and they're trying to do better, which is always a good thing. But they don't see themselves as highly successful. Like I said, You might say, well, if you can feed the families of multiple employees, that's pretty successful, but they might not see it that way. So it's all subjective. Now, personally, for me, success is multiple, and I think it's with most people, multiple different things are successful. Right now, even though I've had some downturns in business, I still feel successful in my business because until this whole stupid virus thing, even losing a huge amount of sales last year, I'm growing my business. My major client that I lost, for several years, they were upwards of 70% of my income from one client. But when I lost that client, I only lost 40% of my income from them. Still a big hit, still rough, but I had grown my business to replace 30 to 40% of my previous income. So that was pretty a big deal. So for me, that's success in business. What else is success for me? My primary success, my aim, where I will feel really successful, when my family can be completely taken care of by me working, that my wife would not have to work, that my family, she could be home with the kids, I could work the business. I look forward to being able to manage my business and not work in the business all the time. That to me looks like success. I'm not looking at a fancy car, tons of money, big house. Yeah, those things are nice, but they're just stuff. And the old preacher's joke is, I've never seen a U-Haul following a hearse. And then, of course, you say that, and of course, a meme pops up where a U-Haul just happens to be following a hearse online, but hey, it's a joke. Anyway, see, some people, money, wealth, uh, cars, status, houses, showy stuff, the stuff they want to show off makes them feel successful, look successful. The $1,000 suit, $2,000 suit, what have you. They want to look successful. They want to feel successful. They want to be recognized. And to them, hey, if that's success to them, then that's success for them. But doing just even normal research, again, The Millionaire Next Door, the first book to The Millionaire Mind, talks about how most millionaires are plumbers, electricians, self-employed. 80% started off first generation rich, which means they started off with nothing and built up their wealth, and they just spend time with their family, they run their business, and they're pretty laid back. They live in a normal house, they buy cheap but dependable local made cars. So cars made in America, they live in America, etc. They don't buy imports because imports tend to go more expensive than local. So they're all about saving money. They're usually by a medium, a nicer neighborhood, not bad neighborhood, of course, but not a wealthy neighborhood, just a middle class neighborhood. Usually somewhere in the middle of the middle class neighborhood, not the most expensive house on the lot, but not the cheapest one either. So just normal, average, everyday guys. You might be living next to one or two right now and have no clue because they look like everyone else. They're not driving fancy cars. They're not wearing $1,000 suits. They're not eating caviar. They're eating hamburgers in diners, real regular food. They drink beer more than champagne, whatever. What you see on TV is what you see on TV. It's TV. The movies, it's not real. Sure, there are some people that have extremely high incomes that live those lifestyles. But It's very, very low percentage. The much higher percentage of wealthy people are wealthy just because they're thrifty, they're not fancy, they're not flashy, they save their income, they put aside 15% of their income, 25% of their income every month. They just set it aside, they invest, they go easy. It's pretty crazy what you see on TV versus real life. And here's the thing: the back to the how do you measure success? These guys spend their free time with their families, and unless it's something they really enjoy to do, like a hobby, they don't do things around the house like mow their lawn. They'll hire a guy to come mow the lawn. They'll hire a guy to fix the roof. They won't do it themselves because they want someone else to do it and they don't want to spend the time on it. They'd rather do money making activities. Mowing the lawn and fixing the roof are not money making activities. Money saving, yeah, but just interesting. Their focus is I'd rather be with my family than mowing the lawn today. I'd rather be with my family than fixing my roof. A lot of them are very focused on family. They spend time with their family, baseball games with their kids, plays with their kids, just being with their family. That's what's important to them, and that's how they measure their success. Some of them measure it by taking care of other people, growing the business so that their employees can be taken care of. And so that's a measure of success too. Now, who's more successful? Yeah, that's up to you to decide. In my opinion, having a ton of money just to have a ton of money doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Sure, you can leave it to your kids, and unless you are really good at training them to be thrifty, teaching them to appreciate what they have and work hard and keep the savings and the modest lifestyle correctly. If you don't do that, the odds are the children of wealthy people will blow through the money and wind up broke very quickly. That's the odds. I can't remember the total number, but it's a high percentage. So why stress and fight tooth and nail to retire a multi-millionaire or a multi-billionaire with all this money? It's not going to buy you any extra time on Earth. Can't take it with you. But it's something. Personally, my view of success, this is my view, whatever your view is, but it's something you got to think about. My view is if my family's good for generations, if I can change my family tree for generations so that my children's 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 children are still wealthy and well taken care of and don't have to stress and know how to manage money and know how to work hard and know how to be good people, that to me is success. I want my boys to, right now, we're not wealthy by any means right now. Far from it. We're barely making it through because of the coronavirus and all that good stuff. But my goal is not to become uber wealthy just because I feel like making a lot of money and getting the cars and the houses and the yacht and all this stuff. My goal is to be able to donate to charities, to have my family taken care of, to have somebody come up and say, hey, I'm hungry, I need some food, and say, hey, let's see if we can help you get some food and a job, and let's see what else we can do for you. Or have a charity organization come up to me and say, hey, we need money. Do research. Giving is important. You don't want to just give to scam artists. That's bad. But a real charity comes up and saying, we have a special project, be able to do it. Or like Dave Ramsey, who I do mention a lot. He just briefly mentioned it. He didn't say how much he spent, but there was an earthquake in Haiti a few years ago. And what he did is he bypassed all the middlemen. He bought a shipping container filled up with blankets and emergency food and medical supplies, everything he could think of to the top, a full, big, huge shipping container, shipped it to Haiti, and sent his own staff to make sure it got to the people who needed it the most. And he just pulled out his private account and just paid for it all and did it. Paid his staff full salary, paid for all their travel, paid for. He didn't say how much he spent. That wasn't the point. He was just saying, when you have the money to be able to jump in and help like that, that's amazing. That's my personal. I want to be able to sit down and notice that the waitress is working really, really hard, and find out that talking to her and find out she's a single mom who's trying to raise her kid and be able to just leave $1,000 tip and just sneak out and laugh and have fun with it. That's, for me, that's success. For me, it is to be able to change my family tree so that they can be generous givers for multiple generations, because they don't have to worry about money. All they have to do is worry about the best way to give and take care of other people. For me, that's success. For me, it's building a business that not just feeds my family, but I can employ others to feed other people's family and provide a service that people need and like and enjoy and fills a need in other people. That's my definition of success. That's what I want. That's my goal. That's my aim. Now, I don't know about you, but this is my personal thing, is my personal view is the more unselfish your view of success, in my opinion, the better it is. Because you're only going to be on this earth a short amount of time. You never know when you're going to die. No one makes it out alive. Another joke. So, yeah, have fun now. Okay. But what if you could just impact multiple generations, and not just your family, but take care of thousands of people down in the future? That to me is success. That to me is much better than having some bling, some gold-plated braces or whatever. Just my personal opinion. The most successful people, in my opinion, are the ones who have the money. They don't have to brag about it. They just have it, and they're able to take care of things, do things, and help other people. That's my measure of success. So, and that's my preference. That's what I think is the best way to do it. And as a Christian, I believe that's the Christian view of success, where you don't own the money. I mean, you own the money. The money doesn't own you. The money doesn't drive you. You drive yourself for other reasons, and the money becomes just a tool. And that, for me, is the ideal. So, just something to think about. What is the measure of your success? What do you need to do to feel successful? What is your aim? What is your goal? And whatever that is, if it is the bling, that's great for you. That's fine. Your choice. But one thing that with the listeners of my podcast, if you notice, I'm always about other people, taking care of people, employing people, helping people, adding value, building the economy for everyone else. So that's my view. And you need a goal. You need a target. And if you're just, I'm just going to get myself up, you need a hard target. You need to go, well, I want to be successful. Well, what's that? I don't know. I'll know it when I get there. No, you will never get there if you don't know it. As I do believe it was Zig Ziglar, he said, if you aim at nothing, you will hit it every time. So you have to have a goal. So you have to know what your measure of success is. I know what my measure of success is. That's my big goal, and I can break that down to smaller goals, smaller steps to get there. So anyway, that's a thought. Hope you enjoy this. You have a great day. By the way, I will be linking to the book, The Millionaire Next Door, on Audible. Audible is a show sponsor. I highly suggest it. If you sign up for your first time, you get a free trial, you get a free book. You can click on it. You can get The Millionaire Mind as a free book right off the bat. You keep it forever. It's all yours. You get 2 Audible originals, free trial. After that, it's $14.99 a month, and you get 1 credit, 1 book. It's amazing. Check them out. And you guys have a great day. Yeah, it's been a hard week. I kind of forgot to do the promotion a little bit earlier, but hey, gotta do it. You have a great day. Talk later. Bye bye. Okay, just as a reminder, we do offer a free 1/2 hour, no obligation consultation. All you need to do is go to our website and contact us through there, or you can contact me directly at my O'Connor Bootstrap podcast Facebook group or our Atheoz.com Facebook page as well. And if you would like to support this channel, the best thing you can do, of course, is to like and share and subscribe. That helps the most. Or you can check out one of our affiliate links. And of course, I do have a PayPal and a Patreon account, and the links will be in the description below. Thank you very much. You all have a good day. You have been listening to the O'Connor Bootstrap podcast and Atheoz Business Solutions podcast. For other podcasts, past episodes, and related blogs, please check out our website at www.atheoz.com. That is www.atheoz.com or theoz.com. Until next time, I've been your friendly neighborhood entrepreneur, Isaiah O'Connor.